Hello, everybody, and Namaste ji to all of you. Friends, for those who don't know me, I'm Meena Tilakraj, your inner power optimizer, passionate storyteller, smile ambassador, and inner power optimizer. Friends, right now, the whole world is going through a very strange period. It is this pandemic like one never before, which has put everything out of gear. Not only out of gear, but everything is uncertain, unknown. We don't know what's happening, how this will get over, how this will be cured, when will it get over. Nobody knows anything. We only know that we cannot move out, we cannot meet people, we have to maintain social distancing. Every activity, every job, every person is out of gear. Everything is out of gear. But what is it behind it? Perhaps some of you would have heard a phrase being said, whatever happens, happens for the best. Well, it's easily said than believed. Let me tell you a small story. There was this king who had a very irritating personal minister, personal advisor. For anything that happened, good or bad, he would always say, oh, this has happened also for the best. Well, the king would just swallow it very often. But one day, the king hurt his finger and it got so badly infected that it had to be cut off. And when the minister came to know about it, instead of sympathizing with the king, he said, even this has happened for the best. The king was furious. How could he be so insensitive and say such a thing? So he got so angry with him that he sent him out of job and out of his kingdom. He said, get out and never show me your face again. Whilst going, this minister turns back, smiles, and says, even this is happening for the best. The king didn't know how to control his anger, but still he just kept quiet and waited for him to go. Okay, he went. Now, after a few days, like normally all kings do, this king also felt like going for an outing, for a hunt. And generally when his personal advisor was with him, he would always accompany him, but now he was not there. So the king went with his other attendees and attendants and soldiers and whatever. And in the jungle, he lost his way. The attendants, his soldiers, kept searching for him. They didn't find him, so they went away. And this man was lost. He climbed up a tree and he was waiting for someone to find him and take him back to his palace. In the middle of the night, all of a sudden, he heard drums and bells and singing and dancing, and he saw the light of a few torches coming in. And he was so happy, he jumped down because he thought somebody has come to find him, to look for him. And when this group of people who were all seemingly Adivasis, people from the jungle, their attire was like that, and they saw him and they started jumping with joy and they started playing the drums and the cymbals and they started jumping and dancing and singing. So this king was also very happy. He thought that probably they found him and now they'll take him to the palace. But that was not to be. What happened? What do you think must have happened? Let me tell you. Actually, they were tribals who were looking for someone, a human, to be sacrificed. And they found him. But the king doesn't know. So they very nicely, very happily, they took him and they started taking him back to their little wherever they stayed. And the king was very happy. He did not know what was happening. When he reached there, they started bathing him and cleaning him up, because for the sacrifice, the person or animal for sacrifice has to be given a bath and purified. So they were purifying him. And it was only somewhere then that he came to know that he is to be sacrificed. And now he was petrified. He didn't know how to escape. He kept on telling them in his own language that he's the king and they can't do this to him, but they would not understand. They were tribals. They had their own language. And they kept doing whoo, 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 whoo in their own language. Anyway, now they were purifying him. They were bathing him. And whilst bathing him and cleaning his body, they were cleaning his hands, and what do they find? His one finger is missing. And they started shouting, oh, oh, this finger is missing, oh. And they let him go. And the king sighed a sigh of relief. And he said, oh my God, my minister was right, that everything happens for the best. Had I had this finger, they would have chopped me into pieces. Anyway, he turned back, and somehow or the other, the next day, when the sun came out, he somehow or the other found his way out, and he went back to his palace. And the first thing that he did was he ordered his men to bring back his personal advisor, to look for him and bring him back. And he was brought back. Once he was brought back, the king said, oh, now I understand what you said, that everything happens for the best. But I escaped. For me, it was good. But tell me, whilst going, when I sent you out, you said one last thing. Even this is for the best. What was so best for you? The personal advisor laughed. He said, don't you see, sire? Had I been here, you would have taken me along with you. And if I was there with you, I would have been there with you when they took you to their place to sacrifice you. And if they found your finger missing, I have all my fingers intact. Then who would be sacrificed? Do you know? That answered the king. So even that happened for the best. So why am I telling you this story? Because right now it's pandemic, and we have to accept it as everything happens for the best. I know it's very difficult, but all the same, we have to keep our peace and calm from inside and try and be happy from inside. That is the only thing that will raise our energies, which are required. Because there's a lot of talk about immunity, everything, everywhere. Immunity is like the dancer which is made to dance everywhere. But how will you up your immunity? Not by eating things and drinking things. It is by your inner power. Yes. And how will you do that unless you know the chemistry of happiness, which I can tell you, because that's my expertise. I do workshops and talks on rise above challenges and also rise above yourself. And all this through the knowledge of the chemistry of happiness through romance with life. For those who want to connect with me for this, they can connect with me by sending a message. And otherwise, You can also connect on AumHum, where you will find a lot of my stories and very interesting stories. I just told you one. So do connect with me and do connect with AumHum. See you all. Bye.